Hello, everybody. Welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. I'm joined by Robert on audio. We're having a quick call here, and Robert's got a few things he wants to get off his chest. He's a little bit unhappy with what a few fans have been saying and quoting. So, Robert, how are you doing? You all right?
Not bad, yourself?
Aye, not bad. Thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome, mate. Anytime.
You've been on before. For people who don't know who Robert is, been on fan cams before. There's a picture on screen, so I'm sure you'll recognise him. He's back up for the Luton game as well. We'll get a hold of him for the fan cams afterwards as well, right? Robert, what did you want to speak about first then? What's on your mind?
So obviously the form at the moment isn't the greatest. 1 point out of 9 games, and this just seems to be every time we make a mistake, we seem to concede. And it's the silly mistakes are not just like one-off occasions. There seem to be mistakes that keep reoccurring. I think all the players, but especially a certain few.
Who do you think? Who's that down to? Do you think that's collectively we're not great at the defence? Is it because Lascelles was missing? Is it because the change of formation?
I don't think it's the change in formation, but I definitely think Lascelles has been a massive miss. You look at what the goals we've conceded since losing Lascelles and the goals we were conceding beforehand. But as a whole, I don't think certain midfielders are playing up to their full potential. I mean, we've mentioned it, in fan cams and I know you and Alicia and Sharky have mentioned that we've never said John Joe Shelby's made a world-class performance.
No, he hasn't this year.
No, and I don't think Matt Ritchie has this season. I've got a few little stats for Matt Ritchie. This year he's only made 5 assists and he's not scored a goal yet this season. And out of the 5 assists, he's only made 1 from open play. So we talk about Hossley scoring goals. There's not many chances being created from the likes of Murphy, Atsu and Ritchie.
Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate. You know this was coming. So you're saying with them stats there, but 4 of them have come from set pieces. Does that not prove how crucial set pieces are to a team who hasn't got much quality?
They definitely are important, but we've got players like Kieran Clark and Lascelles who have scored goals this season. But this could all be avoided by signing more of a creative midfielder than John Joe Shelby or a better number 10, where we might look better in open play. I'm not a massive fan of John Joe Shelby this season because once again, he's got himself sent off and he's got himself two games during the Christmas period off. It looks like he's got an early Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah, you've mentioned that twice now. People criticise Mitrovic for being a liability. Is John Joe Shelby not more so than what he is?
I call Mitrovic and Shelby a liability. It's not one is and one isn't. Mitrovic frustrates me, and I know he sometimes frustrates Sharky. I wouldn't call Mitrovic less of a goal scorer as Hossley or Gale, but I just don't think he links up play as well as those two players do, especially Hossley. I was at the Man United game and the Chelsea game against 2 tough opposition, and Hossley linked so well with Gale that he didn't play against Chelsea, against West Brom.
Yeah.
He linked up play so well with Gale that it seems like a no-brainer to play those two together without Perez or Diame, because those two have, again, underperformed this season. So
you're saying Shelby's underperforming, but he is playing a hell of a lot more games than Mitrovic. Why is that?
He comes too deep for the ball. I know you've mentioned it in your previews that you want to see him push further up the field, and so does everyone else, but don't forget, in the Championship, we weren't under the press that we are as in the Premier League. We're now under the pressure from the likes of Chelsea, Man United, and it will happen against Man City. And if Chelsea does play against, say, the likes of Man City, he's not going to be able to Hollywood pass like a quarterback. He's not going to have that space because the team's press is so high that he's not good enough to player who is already marked. Last year we had a lot more space and people sat back to us, whereas we're sitting back to other teams now. So it's a complete different game for Newcastle this year.
You speak about Shelby. Question for you, Robert. Has actually Shelby had 1 outstanding game this season?
No, he's had flashes of brilliance. So you'd say the assist for Hosslu's goal
Yeah.
against Liverpool would be a moment of brilliance, but that he's had a fantastic game. He's not changed the game. He's just given bright sparks.
Okay. Question for you again. Is Shelby better on the bench than starting?
I would say so. I mean, with the way Newcastle are conceding at the moment, I think, especially away from home, we should play Mourinho and Hayden in the middle of the park to try and keep chances of the opposition away and try and just stay in the game and then score goals as we are doing. I don't think scoring goals is much of an issue. I mean, we've scored against Man United and Chelsea, which both away from home, which in itself is an achievement, but we've conceded 3 or 4 goals at the time.
Yeah, well,
So
I think there's been 6 or 7 1-0 defeats this season. For me, I think Mikel Mourinho looks so much better in midfield when Shelby's not playing. We've seen it.
so do I.
We've seen it when he was suspended, and we've seen it when he come back and he was sitting on the bench. He couldn't get back on the side. And the best performance I think Jonjo Shelby's had this season is when he come off the bench against West Brom, changed the game around.
Definitely. And on goals, we've scored the same amount of goals as Burnley.
Yeah, look where Burnley are.
Yeah, it's definitely not the going forward that is Newcastle's problem. And I'll tell you why Mourinho looks better when Shelby's on the bench is that Shelby does not make a tackle, and when he does, you could say it's a Hollywood tackle. It's like, oh look, I'm making such a big tackle.
Reckless.
And in fact, it's just getting it. Yeah, it's reckless and it's getting himself sent off. Hayden, however, puts his foot in just like Mourinho, and it means Newcastle look more stable. I'm not going to say we look stable, but we look more stable when those two play together, when either of them play with Shelby.
He had a much better game against Arsenal, his former side, didn't he?
Definitely. I like Hayden, and I understand he lacks creativity, but he's definitely one to keep in the side for that stable midfield we're hoping to achieve. Yeah.
Let's just go back to Richie. Why do you not rate him?
I don't think he's fast enough. I don't think he's quick enough. That's why he cuts inside. We go back to the game against Crystal Palace. You saw against the likes of Van Aanholt and Zaha, who, yes, are speed merchants. He wasn't willing to try and run past them, and he was always cutting inside, trying to play a ball square or come back to Yedlin. Yedlin is our threat down the right-hand side. It's not Richie. When we look at the left-hand side, you've got Manquillo's not the quickest, but you've got Atsu or Murphy who are lightning quick. You look at the game against Man United, it was Yedlin who put the ball across. It was Murphy who put the ball across, or Yedlin, I can't remember who. But it's not Richie who is our danger man, I don't think, going forward. He's not quick enough, and he gives the ball away too much, and he makes reckless decisions. The game against Chelsea, which I was at, he had 10 yards of space, and yet he...
Was that not because he's playing left wing back, not something that's natural?
I still don't think it's excusable. I mean, you're a professional footballer, and if you're giving the ball away when you've got 10 yards of space, you've definitely got problems, and then he gives away the penalty. I just think it's problems that if he was providing something going forward, or he's scoring goals or creating assists from open play, we could probably say, okay, he's offering something going forward. However, coming backwards, it's definitely an issue that has been...
Let me ask you this question then. Will any other player get more than 5 assists this season?
I think Mourinho will.
Do you think he will?
And I think if we play either Atsu or Murphy for sustained periods of the rest of the season, I think they'll get more than 5 assists this season. Because I think they've looked, especially Murphy, I've been definitely impressed with him for the past 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, he just needs to grow in confidence, doesn't he? Speaking of Matt Ritchie then, a lot of fans seem to love him, and you don't like that. You've commented on a few times in the comment section below, and you obviously, every time Richie plays bad, you pipe up and say it. But a lot of people suggest maybe try him in the number 10. Are you for that or against it?
if it means that Mohamed Diame doesn't play, then I would be for it. But I don't. As I said before, I think the 4-4-2 is the way forward with Newcastle, with Gale and Hosselu playing up front. We've scored 2 goals against Leicester with them up front, and we scored against Man United. And actually, we overran Man United for the first 40 minutes. And unfortunately, I was had to sit in the home end for that. So
How did that go down well?
Fortunately, I have my dad with me, and he's quite big, so I was quite safe. But I just think that we need to find our best team and stick with it. Last season, Rafa had his best team, and he tried to play it at every cost. I don't think we found that this year. So I think at the moment we need to go with Murphy on the right and Atsu on the left, and drop Richie and play Gale and Hosselu up front with Marino and Hayden.
So that's
in
Richie,
the middle.
That's Richie and Shelby on the bench.
Yeah, and play them as impact subs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you mentioned what else did you mention on your list? There was something else. What was it?
So we've got our next 6 games on the list, and it's definitely something to look forward to, except for 2 games who come up against the same opposition.
Who's that?
So-called the best team in the country and best team in Europe, Manchester City, home and away.
Well, they're just, as we say in our videos, bonus
games.
Yeah, exactly. Get someone from there, you've won the title. Literally, you won the league. Mm-hmm. But we're not expecting now from that. Okay.
No.
So this weekend's fixture against West Ham, must win?
I would say it's a must point. We have to get a point.
Just a point?
I would say. However, Brighton at home and Swansea at home are must wins.
Now, if you look at the league table, everyone's panicking because we're in the relegation zone. But you're only 3 points off 12th place.
Yeah, that's sort of the calmness in me that suggests we're not in a bad situation. I think anyone from Southampton down
is in a relegation scrap.
Is in a relegation scrap. It might not be 3 points now, because I think Everton won this evening, 3-1 against Swansea. Yeah,
I seen Swansea winning at half time. I was like, oh no! But then the Rooney penalty was missed and the rebound went in. And I was like, get in.
So Brighton at home and Swansea at home are must wins, and Stoke away with the way they're going, I can see.
Yeah, we're all down at Stoke for that one, so we're kind of get beat there.
A new manager could be in the
Stoke dugout.
Exactly. So just think, with the way we've gone against Sunderland with their new managers over the seasons, it's just never good to play a team with a new manager.
Right. Leaves me nicely on to the next question for you. New manager. There's a small section of fans coming out now wanting Rafa out. They've got to be absolutely balmy nuts, haven't they?
Who do you replace him with? That's the one question I would ask them.
Tony Pulis, give over, man.
In the next 15 years, who do you see replacing Rafa Benitez? And in the last 15 years, who have we had better since Sir Bobby Robson? We've not.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I mean, we have to stick with him. Don't forget, this is the first patch of bad form he's been under at Newcastle United, and it's not necessarily all of his fault. Shearer mentioned it. People think it's the problems on the pitch that are causing Newcastle. It's not. It's the problems off the pitch that are really causing our downfall at the moment. However, that's not going to change, I don't think. I think it's going to stay like that until we're safe.
So do you think the takeover won't happen? Or when will it happen?
I think it's more when, not if. I think 40 points will be the time when Ashley will say, right, the club is yours, and Staveley will buy it. I don't think Staveley's going to buy the club now when it's in the bottom 3.
Do you think it'll be done behind the scenes and then they'll just wait until they announce it, even though it might have already been done for weeks and months?
I think a deal has been proposed. I think I've heard 320 million, and then transfer any spends in January will be refunded. I think that will be the deal. However, I don't think that deal will be confirmed until Newcastle United are safe for next season.
What, where Ashley gets his money back?
Yeah.
However,
yeah. And I think we talk about Ashley giving 30 million. Now, that might not sound enough, but I definitely think the likes of Mitrovic are on the way out. I think Diarme will be sold. I think there's still someone who we don't expect will be sold. Maybe Gamez or Lazar.
I think you look at that list, you've got to look at Chancellor Mbemba because he's not getting games. Mitrovic, Colback, Save, even possibly Diarme. There's 5 straight away, and that's probably saving you 200 grand a week.
Yeah, and it's also giving you 15 million more in the transfer window.
Probably more, Mitrovic and Mbemba.
And we might see things like loan deals. I think that will be the key for Rafa this January transfer window, to go for loan deals. The likes of Luke Shaw, Danny Ings, and Daniel Sturridge has also been mentioned in the last couple of days.
Because they'll be on massive wages. We can't afford them buying them. We can't.
But it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed Premier League experience, and you could say with Sturridge and Ings, guaranteed Premier League goals because they've done it before.
So is he the answer for January?
Who, Ings or Sturridge? Both.
Or one of the other?
I think one of them is, but as I said on the first fan cams of the season against Tottenham, I wasn't for signing a new striker. I thought we had a good enough striker in Gale, and in the last couple of weeks, I think he's proved it.
Do you not think we need to strengthen there?
If we strengthened with either Ings or Sturridge, then obviously that would be a move forward, and it would definitely help Newcastle. But I think we need to sign a new centre half.
Yeah, really. I think as a striker, goals keep you up. 10 goals from January to May keeps you up. Can Dwight Gill do that?
Don't think. I think he could, but again, it depends on service. If you played Dwight Gill with Diarme behind him for the rest of the season, I don't think he would. But if you played Dwight Gill and Hosselu up front together, I think between them they could score 15 goals. Yeah,
Hosselu gets a lot of stick, but when there's 2 up top, Gill looks so much a different player, doesn't he?
He does, and I think it's because Hosselu passes the ball a lot, and he wins the ball a lot more than many other strikers, and
he draws 2 men to him as well.
He does, and he reminds me of what Murphy did last season. That's how I'd compare him. Murphy last season held the ball up well, and he scored a few. And you look at Mitrovic, that's why he's not playing, because he didn't play last season because he played behind Murphy, and this season he's not playing because he's playing behind Hosselu. It's not because they're both better goal scorers, it's because he doesn't think they'll play up as much or as well.
Well, we all know with Rafa that if you work hard for him, look at Ayoze Perez, look at Hosselu, you don't have to be banging in goals. If you work hard for the team, you'll keep your place.
You will, and I think that's something that has to be definitely recognised, but also has to be relaxed if you're not performing. And that's why I think Richie has to be dropped as well, because I don't think he's performed as well as he could. Because look at last season, he was scoring goals, making assists, and yes, last season he was one of our best players behind Dwight Gale and Lascelles, but he's not doing it this year, and that's why I think he has to be dropped for some period of time to let other players have a chance.
What about the keeper situation? What's going on there?
Darlow made a bad mistake. Everyone can mention that, but
Leicester as well.
I don't see how that's going to change. I don't think it's the top of our priorities at the moment. I think
there's a small section of fans want Woodman in. Do you think that's too soon? Too big for him?
I think he deserves a chance. It's not to say he doesn't deserve a chance, but I think he deserves a chance when we're safe, I
think we should play him in the Luton game.
So do I. I mean, that would be the perfect situation for him to play, or in the FA Cup. Get a run.
Play him against Luton, then loan him out.
I would say try and keep him for the FA Cup or odd games, because you look at how Darlow got into the side last year, it was through injury. And he made a few mistakes, but then he obviously saved the Johan Cabaye penalty, it all changed for him. So I think he deserves a chance, but only if it is circumstances where we have to play him, not where we choose to play him.
Yeah. Anything else on your list?
I just think we need to stop being so negative about, and I'll stop commenting on comments on YouTube, but I think we just need to look forward to the season, because it's something that we've missed for 12 months last year, and obviously
Do you think the negativity is now? What's the word? It's become infamous.
Toxic.
Yeah,
it's toxic.
Everyone's talking about it now. It's so vile. You'll see it across no matter where you'll see it. You might see it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Someone's being negative, very negative.
Yeah, and I think that reflects what's happening in the ground as well. I think the flag displays are the best in the league, and I think some of the fans are the best in the league. But as soon as we score, we don't seem to have the noise and the atmosphere that we did last year. And that's, I think, because we got used to winning last year, and now this year we've struck some bad form, and everyone's all doom and gloom.
What I've noticed being in the stadium is even if the referee gets a throw-in wrong, the crowd go absolutely nuts, mental for it. And then if even if it's a simple pass which is misplaced, you see 5 or 6 people shouting up and effing and blinding with the fingers because of a simple pass going out. You've got to stop that and get behind the lads.
Yeah, and it spreads. That's the problem, because as soon as the player makes one mistake, if he makes another, then you see 10 or 15 people getting on his back. Then you see more and more and more, and it's not easy for the players. The players aren't, as we say, they're not the best. They're average players at best.
Well, if you look at
the Premier League,
we know we don't rate Mo Diarmi, but the way he was ironically cheered off the pitch, I think that's got to stop. The criticism of the constant criticism when Ayoze Perez comes on, everyone's like, "Oh," it's like that. You've got to get that out of your mindset.
I think that's just unfair though, because I think Perez works so hard off the ball that it sometimes can show when you look at the last goal against Leicester. Perez was the only person I saw sprinting back. There was no one with no real effort to get back, and unfortunately, he did score the own goal. But it shows his commitment to the sort of team, and it's just a bit. I think it's a bit unfair on him, to be honest, because I don't think he's the worst of the bunch.
Manquillo was nowhere, but welcome back, Paul Dummett. I think he'll start against West Ham.
I think we've missed him. I think he's someone who just does his job well and doesn't just gets on with it every week.
And he's another one that fans massively criticise.
I think it's the hard work. I think it's people who just do the job quietly that get criticised.
He's a defender who wants to just defend, isn't he?
He is, and he's one of the best people that when the opposition are at the break will make a tackle and will put the ball out of play. And he's the best in the team at doing it. And I think we've missed him since Tottenham.
Yeah. So West Ham this weekend, then let's get a prediction off you. What's it going to be?
I'm going to hope for a 2-1, but in their recent form, I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think we've got to win it. I think we will win it. And again, 2-1 in Newcastle.
However, I think our goal difference could take a pounding in the next couple of weeks with Man City home and away. So
keep the scoreline down. That's all we can hope for, isn't it?
Yeah, and just stay in the game, as I say. The longer we can stay in the game, the better in these games.
That's what it is. We got done by a wonder goal at Arsenal. That was it. So,
and unfortunately, we scored too early against the big sides. You could say we scored in the 14th minute against Man United and the 12th minute against Chelsea.
Yeah, we always seem to start well, don't we? Then we're figured off.
Yeah, but it angers these big teams and you think, right, we're really going to go at
And then we always seem to concede at half time. Well,
yeah.
Well, Robert, thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for this podcast, Robert, for jumping on. It was Robert's idea.
You're welcome.
And if any other fan wants to jump on, of course, they can do.